know, this has been a heavy emphasis in Rotary for quite a number of years now because membership has been a problem. Not just with Rotary, but with all the service clubs. They're all having difficulty. But this is the Rotary International Strategic Plan. It involves fellowship, integrity, diversity, service, and leadership. But these are the things that Rotary has been emphasizing, and particularly, and then when this comes up now, I'm glad they did this, I don't know how to do this kind of thing, but it talks about, for us now, promoting membership and promoting membership diversity. Now I know your club has done very well on the gender issue. I think you're one of the best clubs in the district in that score. And improving member recruitment and retention, of course, that's the main thing, isn't it? That's what we all try to do, but it isn't easy. Let's go ahead. Well, this mentions, of course, some of the things that you know we're doing in Rotary. Eradicating polio, still a top issue, although we're very close. Trying to increase service. Focus on programs and activities that support youth and young leaders. This is certainly a big emphasis, and we're seeing a lot of increasing in Rotaract and Interact clubs around, even around our district. This is increasing quite a bit. Now, yeah, Rotaract, of course, it's helpful if you go to college or a university like we do in Mount Pleasant. But Interact clubs are for high schools, as you know. And those are becoming popular. Let's go ahead. They keep talking about brand awareness. I think that's what that is. Okay. Join leaders, exchange ideas, take action. And go ahead. Okay, this is our district. And you can see this is the numbers of members in our district. 1387 in 2013-14 has dropped to 1367. I don't know how accurate that is right now because it changes all the time. But you can see we've lost 20 members. And this has happened even though we've had goals much higher than that. And even though we've worked hard at it, it just seems like
the big concern is it isn't growing.
It isn't growing, and that's the problem. But, now, they put up some things about Durand, so this will be all familiar to you, right?
Yeah.
And upcoming events are mentioned on here, right? Doesn't mention your poker thing, though. It mentions me, I don't know why, but he must have put that. Okay, so, yeah, so your poker thing is one of your fundraisers, obviously.
Right.
And you do this every year?
About 3 times a year. It's really our biggest fundraiser.
Yeah.
We're just the banker.
I see. You just collect the money.
We collect the money.
You don't play the poker?
No.
Okay. And yeah, we're having a big project in our club next Tuesday, a week from today, is our Rotary radio auction, which you can also do online. So if you'd like to get in on that, you can go to Mount Pleasant Rotary and follow the instructions. Anyway, this mentions your current projects. I don't know how current they are, but a lot of them. It's really impressive, I think. And here's your officers. And might as well go ahead. You guys know all this stuff. And your committees, which are obviously active. And well, you can see your pictures on there.
Yeah, we've got a couple updates to that.
That's good. So they got 2 of them in there. So you have around 25 members, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And you've stayed pretty steady, haven't you?
Yes, we have been. Yeah.
And you have a website and Facebook and all that stuff, apparently. Now, he put in a little bit about Midland because Kevin was involved in this. This is just going to show a couple of things that the Midland Club does. This is it talks about, this is what they give to people, I believe, when they're trying to recruit them. So it talks about the object of Rotary, the 408 test, and then they have a new member guide that they give out. And here I think is part of what they talk about. It says, It talks about what is Rotary, what is the Midland Noon Rotary, so they talk about themselves a little bit. I mean, all of our clubs can do this, we just have to put it according to what we do. Why would I join? So we can talk about that. What are my obligations? Sometimes I think we lose people because we don't make it clear to them when they come in just what's going to be involved. And so that's very important. So they point out all the things that you're expected to do, the dues, the costs, and what kind of events they have. So that's just a little bit from what Kevin put in. Now here's our district to show you a little bit about what the district numbers are. This has to do, I think this particular one is age, okay? And so they start with under 29 years, and it goes up to 70 and over, and then the biggest category is unreported. But anyway, as you can see, one of the things that Rotary is emphasizing is youth, trying to get younger people in the clubs, and it's hard to do that. But that's something that we're working on. I think something like 7% or something, or maybe it's lower than that, are under 29. And you can see how that goes. Now here's the gender trends. That stayed pretty much the same, as you can see, all the way through. I think it's 34% female and 66% male in the district. I think you folks are closer to 50-50, aren't you?
At least.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but that's what the district has been doing. That goes through October 4th, I guess. These things change all the time. And so, well, this kind of talks about the age distribution that I was trying to tell you. Less than 40 is 7%. Less than 40. So you see, we don't have very many people under 40 in our clubs. I'm, of course, at the far other end of things. Current female is 34%. So we've had membership goals as high as 1,400 something, you see, and we haven't been able to meet those. So, not that we haven't tried. These are your statistics. This is your membership. Well, I guess you had 30 at one point there, about 5 years ago.
We did, yeah.
And it dropped, then you came back up again. So, but you've been pretty steady. And this shows your gender, what you were telling me. It's 13 to 13, it says. That's pretty close to 50%. Okay. Now, go ahead with the next. Yeah. So membership. How do we get new members? That's really what we're really trying to talk about, aren't we? And what he says here is identify new people and companies coming to your community. I think the wider word, the word I like to use here is target. I think we all need, all of our clubs, we need to sit down every once in a while and say, okay, what kind of classifications do we have and what kind don't we have? What sorts of vocations are not represented in our club? And then you start looking to see if you can find people that might fit that. So targeting, another thing I think is useful, every now and then, have a meeting in which everybody sits down and you say, who are some possible members in our community that we haven't asked? And you can generate names. We've tried that in our club. It doesn't always help a lot, but you usually get some names and you usually get a few people. And if you get even one, it's worth it. So I recommend that. A young business leaders group. They were talking about the Junior Chamber of Commerce in Mount Pleasant. It's a good place to go and look for new members. I don't know if you have that here in Durand, probably not. Anyway, any kind of group where you have that, it's a good thing. Now I know you have Facebook. I'm not very good at that sort of thing, but I know that the young people are. So those are things you can use, and that's what they mentioned. I don't know, do you advertise on Facebook like your poker event? Is that advertising?
No.
Well, the poker event is just really a fundraiser, and seriously, it's run by the state,
Oh, I see.
and we're just,
You're helping.
we're the accountants, okay, really.
Okay, I got it.
They got different.
So people know about it from other ways?
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't know that we're there when we're there necessarily.
Okay, but anyway, the point is, if you have something like that, this is a good way to do it. I haven't quite learned how to do it yet myself, but you got people that know how.
Fortunately, we have a gentleman here that's very good at it.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Go ahead. Something else will come up here. No, it's all right. I didn't discover this myself until I went through it a couple of times. This is saying we ought to target again some of the younger people in the community. And then also know how to know the things that we're doing and how to recruit to them. Now they talk about what sort of things motivates people. Well, Gen Y says they're more civic-minded with a strong sense of community, local and global, and they want involvement. So portability, they're talking about, and we've talked about this in our club, I don't know if you do this or not, but paying dues, how do you do it? Are you allowed to do it by credit card? Are you allowed to do it directly to the bank and so on? Some clubs are getting really involved with that, and that's what the young people like. The old people too, maybe. And then, now I'll talk a little bit about this Legislative Council on Membership Alternatives. Go to the next, I think the next one. Oh, this is a message from our president. I'll go through those first and then I'll come back to this other thing. If a young person asked you why he or she should join Rotary, what in order would you say? Now you've probably all been asked that before, right? Prepare. How would you answer the question, why did you join Rotary? Or why should I join Rotary? That's what he's talking about. He says there are 4 elements. The first one is friendship. In some ways that's the most important one, I think. When I think about joining Rotary, I wouldn't know all the people that I know if I hadn't done that. And so it's just really important. And I think that's one of the things that keeps us strong if we have strong friendships within the club. I think we lose people who no one ever really pays a lot of attention to sometimes, and that's our fault. Second one is personal development. That's what people are looking for sometimes. And business development. I've certainly heard people talk about that. They want to get involved with others, and it's a way to make themselves known and their business known. And the fourth one, and he says by far the most important, is the chance to make a difference in the world. So, if someone asked me to eradicate polio, my ability to do this would be rather limited. But when we all get together, and then we get people like the Gates, Bill and Melinda Gates to help, and we do a lot. We've done a lot with that, no question about it. Now, I think Kevin probably is responsible for a number of these things. Putting in, these are just things to think about. This one of the things that Rotary has done, I think you recognize this. I'm sorry, I'm getting in the way. One of the things that Rotary has done is relaxed a lot of our own rules about membership and attendance. And so now, they've said you can vary your meeting days, you can vary the frequency, you can do all kinds of things like that. You have to meet at least twice a month. Now, do you meet every day, every week? Yeah. I'm kind of a conservative on this one. I really say, if you're going to change your meeting schedule, be very careful. Think it through carefully. Because I've seen cases where I know, I'll use my wife. My wife's a member of the Lions Club in Mount Pleasant. They decided they would go to 2 meetings per month because they thought that would be easier to recruit people. And their club's at its lowest ebb it's been since I've known it. I don't think it helped, I think it hurt. So I'm just saying, be careful. The point is, though, Rotary has changed its rules. So you can meet twice a month and however you want to do that. And there are clubs that are doing that. You can vary your meeting format. Now they talk about in-person, online, and so on. And I guess you know you can make up online. Does everybody know that? If you miss a meeting and you want to make up, you can do it online. You go through follow the instructions. You have to be on there for a half hour or something. But that isn't much fun. It's much more fun to go to a meeting. And if you need to make up, it's fun to go to other clubs sometimes. That's one of the things that I really love, is attending other clubs in other cities. I was in Tucson about 3 weeks ago, and I went to a club that had 230 members. And they must have had 200 of them at that meeting. And it was really quite something.
Was it a lunchtime meeting?
It was a lunch meeting. And they were talking about one of their projects, which was an auto show in which they bring in like $220,000 to their club. So they can do a lot. And then I was in a club in Spartanburg, South Carolina, about your size here. And that was an interesting meeting too. There was a fellow there who happened to be from Marquette, Michigan. And so he was introduced me as a guest. He called me a troll. You know about that? Okay, so anyway, I think that's it. They've relaxed the attendance requirements a bit. I guess what I would say about these things is do what's good for your club, but make sure that it's good for your club, that's all. Personally, I think Rotary, one of the powerful things about Rotary has been the consistency in which it had meetings, had attendance, so it requires committed people. And if you don't have committed people, then your club isn't going to do very well. So, but the point is, there are all these different things you can do. There are different membership types, and I don't know much about these. I've tried to find out a little bit about them. For example, there are family memberships. There are corporate memberships where you can get a corporation in town to join Rotary, and then 1 or 2 of their people become active members. I don't know if anybody in our district is really doing that or not. Anyway, these are all things that you can do. The point is, Rotary wants you to do whatever you can do to help with your membership. I think we're about to the end. Let's go ahead and see what's next.
5th one there.
Oh, there's a 5th one. Oh, probably, you wouldn't have a Rotaract club here, would you?
No.
So it just says, Rotaractors can be members of the regular Rotary clubs. They can be dual members. So if you have young people, Rotaract people don't have to be college students. In fact, I think it goes up to 30 years old.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be college students, although that's the primary target a lot of the times.